Knockout punch indeed. Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden. It's Metaphysical Thursday. Metaphysical Thursday. That's where we're at. Now, if you believe in God, you're a metaphysician. If you've ever told anybody you love them, you are a metaphysician. You believe in metaphysics because metaphysics is defined as that stuff in nature which cannot be quantified. You cannot quantify love. You can't prove that you love somebody. Nobody has ever proved the existence of God. Nobody's ever proved the existence of the Spirit. You can experience these things. You can experience these things, but you cannot objectifiably prove them, at least not with the technology that we have available to us today. And we've been culturally conditioned to believe that, metaphysics is some weird leftover paranormal thing from the 60s, and it's got nothing to do with anything. True metaphysics reaches into the very core of who we are as human beings, and true metaphysics underlines and is the stuff of which the foundation of all holistic medical therapeutics are built. All holistic medical therapeutics argue that the body is endowed with intelligence. Now, I argue that that intelligence comes from the spiritual essence which exists inside you, your spirit, your soul, whatever you want to call it. Different religions, different spiritual disciplines will give it a different name, but the fundamental belief here is that the human body is endowed with an intelligence which is of a spiritual nature, a vital force, if you will. The martial artists call it ki or chi, right? It's the stuff that traditional acupuncturists manipulate when they put the needles in your body. They're manipulating the vital force inside your body. You can't see it. They've been able to map it out somehow. Maybe historically some of them could see it. Maybe today some of them can actually see it with their own eyes. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's an interesting thing to talk about, and true metaphysics forms the very foundation of all holistic medical thoughts, the belief being that the human body, quite frankly, all living organisms, including plants, are endowed with spiritual intelligence, and it's the intelligence that informs and manages and regulates everything that goes on inside the human body, more or less. Your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. Your body is attempting to fix itself, and it is doing so through the agency of the unseen spiritual vital force which brings light to your eyes, light to your dreams, which in fact is a form of consciousness itself. And this is an interesting point to ponder. MDs, because they are anti-metaphysics, MDs are trained to believe that if you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. And since nobody's ever measured the existence of the spiritual force in the human body, or nobody's ever seen the soul with an MRI or a CT scan to the allopathically trained MD, that stuff doesn't exist. It's a figment. It's a fiction. It's a non-starter. It's an imagination at best. So their therapeutics are all built upon the foundation belief that your body cannot fix itself, and that your body has no special spiritual significance, that your body is a fiat of evolution, an accident, an environmental accident. You are a bag of biochemicals which manifested itself somehow spontaneously, and it's nonsense. This is why it's your MD's job not to cure your illness, because they don't think such a thing is possible. This is why I recommend you fire them. Not because they're bad, evil, mean-spirited people, but because they have a warped, incomplete, inconsistent view of the human body. They're like colorblind art critics who don't know that they're colorblind. They're missing gigantic chunks of data, and it is the missing data that the MDs are completely unaware of that screw up all of their diagnostics and all of their therapeutics. And this is why, while we've been under the care of the MDs exclusively, because they have monopolized the marketplace for the last 80-plus years, while we have given ourselves over to the MDs practicing allopathic reductionism, which is just a weird, outdated, old-fashioned, dangerous, juvenile medical philosophy, our health is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not because of pharmaceutical profiteering. It's not because of, incompetence at the VA. It's not because of a for-profit medical system. It's got nothing to do with any of that. The reason that we get such unbelievably poor outcomes is because the MDs have an unbelievably incorrect understanding of the nature of disease. Again, they're like colorblind art critics. Now, if you hired a colorblind artist to paint a portrait of you, but the artist didn't know that they were colorblind, you would expect a less than perfect representation of yourself, right? You would expect it to be flawed because there's a built-in bias, a built-in flaw. Well, because the MDs are not, they're anti-metaphysics, because the MDs are by definition anti-metaphysics, everything that they do is jaded, colored incorrectly, and quite frankly is wrong. Well, not everything that they do. They can stitch up a wound okay, they can set a bone okay, things like that. But for everything else, they're completely lost. They are lost, and this is why you should fire them, because they're lost, and they have nothing for you in the treatment of chronic disease other than symptom-suppressive, man-made synthetic drugs, the intention of which is not to cure a darn thing, but to manage your symptoms until they get so bad you need another drug, and then a surgery, and then another surgery, and then you die. And this is a problem. Now, what I'd like to talk about today in under the subheading of metaphysics is symptomology. So if you're sick, let's say you have pain in your stomach. You're going to go to the MD. You're going to present to the MD. You're going to spend maybe 5 minutes with the MD, maybe 10 minutes with the nurse. The nurse is going to weigh you. The nurse is going to take your blood pressure. The nurse might ask you to pee in a cup. The nurse might draw some blood from your arm, get a little bit of a health history from you, no longer than 10 minutes. And then the doctor's going to come in. He's going to look at all of the data that the nurse collected. He's going to talk to you for 1 or 2 minutes and then make a determination as to more tests that are needed to be ordered, or he'll, knuckle down and make a tentative presumptive diagnosis. When the MD assesses somebody who is not well, when the MD assesses somebody who is, in a state of active disease, their diagnostic array, all of the diagnostic discovery that they do, looks at the results of the disease. The ulcer in the stomach is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. The polyp in the colon is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. The constricted airway in somebody who is asthmatic is not the disease. It is the result of the disease. The tumor in the lung is not the disease. It is the result of the disease. But because the MD has no understanding of metaphysics, because the MD has no understanding of the real nature of the real pathogenesis of illness in the body, all that they look for, all that they're trained to look at, are the results of disease. And because they're so full of themselves, they believe incorrectly that the tumor is in fact the disease itself. In this case, right, the tumor. This is why cancer treatment will never work. And, we've thrown $600 billion at cancer. We don't have anything to show for it because all of the research that's been done looks at the tumor. It tries to kill the tumor, right? Oh, we have to irradiate the hell out of the tumor. We have to give a chemotherapeutic drug into the body that's going to kill the tumor, right? It's going to dissolve the tumor. It's going to melt the tumor. Got to get rid of the tumor. Have to get rid of the tumor. It's a tumor! Get rid of the tumor! And then guess what happens? You go through all that Sturm und Drang, all that storm and stress, pay all that money, experience all the negative side effects of their treatments, and if you're lucky enough, the tumor disappears, but about 6 months or a year and a half later, what do you know? It comes back. Because the disease process which formed the tumor in the first place is still there. Again, the tumor, the tissue change, whatever it is the result of the disease. It is not the disease. But because the MDs are anti-metaphysical, because the MDs have a stilted, old-fashioned, out-of-date, juvenile understanding of the human body, they are trained to look at disease incorrectly. So all of the diagnostic stuff that they do for you is meaningless. Now, about 1% of the time, actually it's probably more than that now because everybody is so sick, when an MD does a diagnostic array, they will find something that's a big bad voodoo daddy, right? They will find, oh my God, you've got 75% liver failure, right? Or your blood pressure is through the flippin' roof, or there's so much potassium in your blood, you're 2 seconds away from a heart attack, and it's good to know these things. But this is really the only reason to have any type of diagnostic stuff done, to rule out really nasty, bad stuff. And, because it's a for-profit runaway train in the United States. This doesn't happen in Canada because it's socialized medicine in Canada, and there's a cap on how much you can spend, more or less. No cap in the U.S., so the MD in the U.S. will run up a bill. They'll do 2 CT scans or 3 instead of just 1 or instead of none. They'll add an MRI, not because it's necessary, but just because, we want to be safe. So they'll do all of this unnecessary diagnostic stuff to pad the bill, and meanwhile, the information that it gives them is meaningless. Meaningless! Unless, of course, they find, there's a giant bleeding vein in your abdomen that wasn't discovered before. So we need to keep it all in perspective. And so what are we going to do? Well, I'm not saying don't pay attention to your body. I'm not saying just be Pollyanna. The body does express symptoms in a particular way, and the holistic understanding of that is awesome, and that's what we're talking about after the break. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, Metaphysical Thursdays. So here's the deal. Holistic physicians have a sophisticated understanding of the relationship between the human body, health, and disease. From the proper perspective, everything makes sense, and the proper perspective defines health as the ability of a living organism to experience stress and remain symptom-free in a dynamic state of equipoise and freedom. So you don't have any symptoms, is the layman's way to understand this. This is a very interesting thing to talk about. Because from the holistic physician's point of view, the articulation of the symptoms, the nitty-gritty, the nitpicky details of the symptomology are everything. Because when a person is in a state of health, they are, by definition, symptom-free. Whenever you have a symptom, and I don't care what it is, heartburn, itchy skin, restless legs at night in bed, pain in your left shoulder when it rains, any symptom that you're experiencing at any moment in time is a reflection that the body is no longer in a state of balance and that disease is at play. Because when you are in a state of health, your body is symptom-free. And when you experience a stress that is too great for your system to handle, your system becomes destabilized and generates a symptom in response to being knocked off balance by the stress. The details of the symptoms hold the key to the cure to the holistic physician. But the MD overlooks the details to the symptoms. It is the symptomology which reflects the disease process. It is the symptomology which is the calling card of the disease process. It is the way that you feel which shows to the enlightened physician the nature of the disease. It's not the ultimate tumor change, broken bone, osteoporosis of the bone, high blood pressure. Those are all the results of the disease. What preceded those results were strong and persistent symptoms, which the MD is completely blind to and doesn't give a crap about, which is why when you go see the MD, they don't even want to talk to you. Oh, how you doing, Jim? Thank you very much. Oh, I see you've got a pain in the arm. Son of a gun. Let's just give you some hydrocodone. Now, if you went to a holistic physician who knew what they were doing, they would, especially if they practiced homeopathy or traditional Chinese medicine, they would ask you detailed questions about the symptomology. Really? You have a headache? What side of the head hurts? What does the pain feel like? Does it feel like your head's being squeezed in a vice? Does it feel like someone's hammering a nail into your head? Does it feel like your head's going to explode like a balloon? Where anatomically is the pain? Is it over your right eye? Is it over your left eye? Is it on the top of your head? Is it in the back of your head? What makes the pain worse? What makes the pain better? When does the pain happen? What was happening in your life immediately before the pain showed up? And has anything else come along for the ride with the pain? Since you've had headaches, what else is happening to you? Well, doctor, ever since I've had a headache, I've got this sore throat that won't go away, and I'm having nightmares of my ex-wife. Well, son of a gun. To the holistic physician, all of these symptoms tie together in a nice little package and give insight into the very nature of the disease process, because it is the presence of a symptom in the human body which reflects the nature of the disease process. But the MD doesn't give a crap about your symptoms. All that they want to know is, oh, you've got pain. Where is the pain? Oh, I got pain in my stomach, doctor. They don't want to know any of the details. Because remember, their methodology is old-fashioned, outdated, archaic, and juvenile, but they don't know that it is. And they're not interested with the nature of the disease process. They're only interested in the results of the disease process. They think that that's everything. And it's nuts. It's nonsense. And this is why we have such a runaway. This is why even when medicine is delivered, by the book, and, the MDs are not profiteering, when they're just doing their job by the book, this is why we have such huge medical bills. Because all of the diagnostic discovery that the MD advises you to take gives them zero information as to the nature of the disease process and zero information as to how to cure it. So no wonder we have such unbelievably high medical bills, because once again, what's the most expensive type of medicine? The one that doesn't work. It's insane, quite frankly. And that's why we're here, to pull back the curtains, shed a little light on this insanity, and make a difference in the world. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Don't even think about touching that dial. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here. Metaphysical Thursdays. I hope that made sense, my little diatribe in the first segment. The symptoms that your disease is expressing hold the key to the cure, and intelligent physician pays discreet attention to the details of your symptoms while they are articulating a treatment, the intention of which is to help your body fix itself. Now, one of the beauties of medical nutrition is that all that we have to do with boilerplate foundation medical nutrition for the masses is understand that there's a symptom present somewhere, right? So, I've got a sore throat. I've got a pain in my left elbow. I have restless legs at night in bed. Or, I have high blood pressure. I have migraine headaches. We need to know that there's a symptom present and know where it is. And that's all that we need to know in medical nutrition. Because with medical nutrition, what we do is we give the body foundation, boilerplate nutritional supplements. Stop eating food that's gumming up the works, and give the body a chance to fix itself, and most often it will fix itself. And how do you know it's fixed itself? The symptom is gone. The symptom is gone. Usually what happens with a good course of medical nutrition is you have strong and active symptoms, and then you start the medical nutrition program. And if it's a good and effective program, if we've done our job correctly, then your symptomology melts away like ice in the springtime. Next time you get a migraine headache, it's only 80% as bad as it was the time before. The next time it's only 50%. The next time it's only 20%. And then the next time you don't get it at all. It's like that. The joint pain slowly recedes into the background, and it's gone. Or, it's only 10% problematic now instead of 100% problematic. You start sleeping through the night. Your blood sugars normalize. Your blood pressure normalizes. Your symptomology, it disappears. Because remember, you can only have a symptom if your body is involved with an active disease process. Whether it's mild, moderate, or a big bad voodoo daddy disease process, a symptom is a sign, a cardinal sign that the game is afoot and you better attend to it. Strong and persistent symptoms, even low-grade persistent symptoms, are an indication that the body is in a state of dis-ease, imbalance, and you must address it. And our advice is for the first 90 days, address it with boilerplate medical nutrition. See how that does. And as God is my witness, if medical nutrition doesn't bring you all the way that you need to go, when you bring a nutrified body to an acupuncturist or a homeopath or an herbalist, their therapeutics work 1,000 times better than if you bring an under-nutrified, wiped out, washed out body. That stuff just can't work. Can't work. Well, it'll work, but it'll be piss poor. All right, let's get to the phones, see who's calling about what. Oh, my good friend Alaric from Texas is back with the continuing saga of the swollen foot. All right, Alaric, what happened?
Okay, well, it's fluctuating. I'll get a cramp in the morning from the medicine, I'm presuming. But it'll go down. But then if I stand up, if I sit down for a while, 45 minutes to an hour, they swell up again.
And when they swell up, are they swelling as much as they always did, or is it a little bit less?
See, that's hard to say. I give it, all right, I'll say a little bit less.
And okay, and before, so what I'm trying to get at, Alaric, is has there been any significant change in the intensity of the swelling?
No.
It doesn't sound like it to me, right?
Now. Huh?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. There has been to me.
No, because I'm looking at it now. I've been up I've been up since about 11 o'clock, and I did some things, and it's back up again. And
you're staying true to the medical nutrition, longevity products, and the diet, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay, great. So I want you to switch the homeopathic. You were taking Glidden before?
Yeah.
I want you to switch to Apis. Switch to Apis.
So every 3 hours, two pills?
For a couple days. Every 3 hours through the weekend. And give me a shout back on Monday. Tell me what happened. Now, with homeopathy, if you get a strong positive change, you stop taking the remedy and let it ride.
Okay.
So, and then if the symptoms start to come back, day or 2 or 3 after you've stopped taking the remedy, you start the remedy again. But the homeopathic remedy is meant as a short-term thing, which you stop as soon as you experience strong and positive change. So switch it out. Call me back on Monday with a report. I'll look forward to it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Alaric, it's always a pleasure. Chantel, I think, from California is up next. Hey, Chantel, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Oh, thank you. My 24-year-old son recently went to the eye doctor, and he was told that he has about 20% of his retina in one eye is almost detached.
Oof.
And
now, well, how did that happen? Did someone punch him in the head, or how did that happen?
No, they said it was most likely because his prescription is so strong. His
prescription for what?
For glasses.
So let me get this straight. The MDs said that the retina detached because his vision is bad.
Yes.
That's nuts. I mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's
really?
The craziest thing I've ever heard. That's like saying, what would that be like saying? That's like saying, you got a flat tire because the spark plug was bad. It's got nothing to do with it. Now, it's interesting from our point of view, and I did an entire webinar about this. I mean, I can tell you in a couple of minutes kind of the nuts and the bolts of this, but I did an entire hour-long webinar on eye health that's available in my on my subscription service in my website. It's $20 a month. You can subscribe for just 1 month, $20. Cancel after the first month. Watch the webinar that I did on eye health, because it's going to be able to tell you a whole lot more in 1 hour than I can, in 60 seconds here, right? But the basic nuts and bolts of this is there's a little nerve that comes off of your brain, and that goes to the muscles in your eye. And if the nerve coming off of the brain going to the muscles in the eye is constricted, the nerve impulses to the eye are going to be funky. And when the nerve impulses to the eye are funky, the vision's going to be funky, and the health of the eye is going to be funky because it's not the way that nature intended it to. Also, if the eyes run out of the nutrients that they need to maintain their structure and function, the eyes are going to start to fail. You don't get a detached retina because you have bad vision. You get a detached retina and you get bad vision because your body is unbelievably undernutrified, and in your son's case, his eye is the weak link, and that's where his body is breaking. And some people their bones break, some people their kidneys break, some people their eyes break or whatever. So from the correct point of view, both of these things would be considered chronic undiagnosed nutrient deficiencies. And if this is happening to him in his 20s, how old is he?
He's 24. He also
it's gonna get worse. I mean, he also has what?
Acne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the most common cause of acne, chronic acne, is elevated levels of sugar in the blood for too long. Sugar is the gasoline of the body. You couldn't blink an eyelash without sugar. Your DNA is made from sugar. Sugar is not the Antichrist. Sugar is your friend. The problem with sugar is how much of it is in the body at any moment in time. The amount of sugar that they've introduced into the food chain here in the United States, North America, and Europe is crazy. And you know why they had to put so much sugar in the food here? Because the food tastes like crap. You know why the food tastes like crap? Because it's grown in soil that's become demineralized. Modern agricultural procedures have completely wiped out the soil, so the food that's growing in the soil now is anemic. And anemic food tastes like crap. So in order just to have people swallow stuff down, they're going to add sugar to it to make it taste better because they wouldn't buy it otherwise. It's a big catch-22. So when there's too much sugar in the body, and the body's ability to metabolize sugar has been compromised, you get sugar lingering in the blood for way too long. And when sugar lingers in the blood for way too long, one of the side effects of that is acne, because there's bacteria in the skin just because there is. And when there's too much sugar in the blood for too long a period of time, it feeds the bacteria, and you get an outbreak of acne. It's that simple. Now, sometimes in teenagers or people in their early 20s, acne can also be related to hormones. And if that's the fact, then we need to address the liver. But with comprehensive holistic medical nutrition, we'd be doing that anyway. So now, all of this, I can tell you exactly what to do to support and promote the structure of your son's body, Chantel, but, this begs the question, right? Do you think that a 24-year-old is going to follow my advice?
He is very health conscious and physically fit. He's very active. He probably would.
All right, what's he doing right now?
As far as activity?
No, like right now. Where is he right now? Where is he on planet Earth at this very moment in time? Where is he?
Oh, he's in Oregon.
He's in Oregon. Is he working? Does he work at this time of the day, or is he a student? What's he doing?
He's working, yes.
Okay, so it's hard for him to call to my show, right? He can't make a call because he's working?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you what to give him, but I don't want you to tell him. I want you to say, look, this guy on the radio, this doctor on the radio wants you to call him so he can tell you directly what's going on here.
Okay.
All right. Now, if he can't do that because of his work schedule, then I'm okay with that, and then you can tell him, well, all right, here's what the doctor told me to do. Okay, so here we go. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So for 90 days, 3 months in a row, to see if we get leverage on his problem. Number one, he has to stop eating the 10 bad foods. You can get that list for free on my website. He has to stop eating the 10 bad foods, period. Number two, he needs 1 healthy blood sugar pack and 2 selenium. That's SELENIUM, 1 healthy blood sugar pack, original formula. 1 healthy blood sugar pack, original formula, and 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And the extra secret sauce here would be 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules a month. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules. So that's Ultimate Dailies, the selenium, and the healthy blood sugar pack, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Most people in their 20s, men or women, when they take these nutritional supplements, they feel an immediate improvement, usually within 72 hours. So have him look to see, right, how he feels when he starts the stuff, his mood, his energy, his sleep, his sex drive, his memory, his digestion, across the board. And then, of course, we want to see what happens over time to the vision, because that's the big bad voodoo daddy here. Appreciate your call, Chantel. Now go see if he can give me a shout tomorrow. Appreciate you very much. Stick around, folks. More to come. Mission impossible? I don't think so. Mission difficult, mission tricky. Really, the trickiest part to this whole thing is getting people in the door. That's the trickiest part. Because, people think that they're skeptical, but they're not. They're closed-minded. If people were skeptical, they never would have taken the drug that the MD prescribed. Really, doctor, you want to give me this drug for my high blood pressure? Let me get this straight. It's a man-made synthetic drug. It's never existed before in the world. You made this molecule up. You pulled it out of your hat. You're going to give it to me. It's not going to cure the disease. It's going to manage the symptoms. And if I take it for more than 5 years, I'm probably going to get type 2 diabetes from it. You want me to take this, and it's going to cost me $120 a month? What are you, nuts? Right? I mean, if people asked just straightforward, simple, polite questions to their MDs about what the heck the drug is going to do, and they never would do it. Well, not never, but a lot less. But people are mystified by the MD for some reason. Oh, don't question the doctor. Well, yeah, question the doctor. Question the police. Question the politicians. Politely. Question everybody. You have to have your own back. You have to take the MD off of the pedestal that you've put them on, because they have no good reason to be there. And quite frankly, it should be the reverse, right? I mean, someone who has dedicated themselves to the elimination of disease and the elimination of reduction of human suffering through medicine should be humble before the fact. They shouldn't put themselves over you. They should put themselves right next to you. Should never talk down to you. Should talk to you, not at you, not down to you. But they do. And we let them get away with it because we're scared little rabbits. I mean, maybe it's all the fluoride we've been ingesting for 100 years. I don't know. But it's time we all collectively snapped out of it, called a spade, and just started asking polite questions, for goodness sakes. Michigan's up next with Charlene. Hey, Charlene, thanks for the call. What's up?
Oh, thanks, Dr. Glenn. I really appreciate you. My BTT, I put it in a meal replacement because yogurt doesn't agree with me. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
I add an egg to it, too. Is that all right, too?
You add a raw egg?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you do that, you need to add biotin as well. You need to get a supplement that has biotin in it. And Longevity has a product called Hair, Skin, and Nails that has biotin in it.
Oh.
Because that will help your digestive tract handle the raw egg.
Oh, wow. Far out. My nails need it, too. Okay. What kind of digestion pills should I purchase?
Well, I don't know. Why do you think you need one?
Huh? Because my stomach is bloated.
Well, oftentimes, right, the stomach gets bloated because you don't have enough calcium and you don't have enough salt. So you're taking extra calcium and you're salting your food so that it tastes good?
Yeah, I take 2 tablespoons of calcium. You know, the
How much do you weigh?
140. 140, 150.
All right. So as an experiment for 7 days in a row, I want you to do 2 tablespoons 3 times a day.
3 times a day.
Yeah, I want you to do 6 tablespoons a day for 7 days. And you can do 1 or 2 of those tablespoons immediately before bed, okay?
1 or 2 before bed.
Do you still have your gallbladder?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all that I want you to do. I don't want you to mess around with any extracurricular digestive enzymes right now. I just want you to make sure that you're salting your food liberally, and I want you to bump up your calcium dose for 7 days and see if that helps to get you a little traction with the stomach bloating.
Wow, okay. Can I mix the selenium and FX together?
Absolutely, positively. Yeah, you have to open the little gel cap and pour the powder out. When you do that...
Really? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's better to do it that way. It's better to do it that way. And when you pour the little powder out that's in the selenium, and it hits anything with water in it, it's going to turn purple. And it should turn purple, so don't be freaked out. The selenium, when mixed with water, should turn purple because there is an anthocyanidin powder in there made from a berry concentrate, and it turns purple when it's exposed to water. So you'll have a purple Osteo FX drink, but that's the best way to do that, Charlene. Regretfully, I'm all out of time here, kiddo. I appreciate your call. We have to move on. Stick around, folks. Hour 2 is coming up. We're going to do some stuff in the chat room when we come back. Dr. Glidden, stick around.